I'm Moala, and in this tutorial, we learn how to load one link in WebView, and then we learn to load one part of that page in WebView, and then we learn how to give a style to that part. This is an empty project. First, let's create the layout. I click on Designer, and from Add View, I add one WebView. Let's make it bigger. I put the horizontal anchor to both sides, and then we add one button at the top, and I change the same horizontal anchor to both sides. Now I need to define this web view in my activity. So I right click on that and I define that. And now I need to define the click event of this button. So I right click on that, and from here I choose click. Let's from file menu save this. I name it layout 1 and then OK. And now I close it. As you see here, the definition of WebView is added and click event of button is added here. Let's load the layout. So I type activity.load layout and then the name of that layout. Very good. Let's get rid of this. Now I want to load one link in WebView. So I type webview.load URL. And here between parentheses, I need the link of that website. This is the website that I want to load. So I copy the URL. Be sure that your link starts with HTTP or HTTPS. Now let's test our application. When I click on this button, you can see the page is loaded here. Very good. Now I need to load only one part. Let's load this part in WebView. To do it, we need to load the HTML of the page separately and load it in WebView. To load the HTML of the page separately, we need OKHTTPUtils2 library. So let's activate that. Let's stop the application and let's activate that. I type OKHTTPUtils2 and I activate that. Okay, very good. Now let's comment this line. So I define one HTTP job variable. If you're not familiar with OKHTTPUtils2 library, check my other tutorial which you see at the top of the screen. HTTP.initialize, we don't need this one, so I leave it empty, and then my target module is this activity. So I type me. Then I can start downloading. So http.download, and between parentheses, I need the same URL, so I copy it from here. Now we need to wait for the link to be downloaded. So I type wait for, and between parentheses, I type the name of my variable, which is HTTP. Now I need to type the event name of HTTP job. So type it exactly as I type. Job done, between parentheses, J as HTTP job, and close the parentheses. Now we can check whether our downloading was successful or not. So I type if j.success, then now we can get the HTML of that link. So I want to put that in one string variable. So I define one string variable, dim str as a string equal to j.getString. Okay, the HTML is ready and we can load it in WebView. WebView.load HTML and between parentheses str, which is the name of my string. I click on this button and I almost have the same result as I had before. But now I have control over that HTML and I can extract one part of that. There are a couple of ways to extract one part of one HTML page, but I want to show you the most simple one. I want to show this part. I need to know in its HTML where it starts. So I right click on that and I click on Inspect. Here is the HTML of the page. I want to choose that part, so I choose this one to help me to click on one part. So I click on this part and I choose it to see the HTML at the bottom part of the page. So I click on that and I edit that. Now I can copy the first part of the line. And now I want to search inside my HTML to search for this part. I can do it by index of. So I type str.indexOf, and between parentheses, I can paste my code. But my code already has double quotations, so I need to use smart string. So $1 in the beginning and at the end. And now I can paste my code here. We need to move it up before loading HTML. As you see, index of gives us integer. So I can save it in one integer variable. So in the beginning of the line, I define one integer variable, dim s1 as integer, equal to the rest of the line. Now I need to know where it ends. So let's go back to Chrome. Here is the text. I copy that. Now I need to use index of 2. As you see at the end of this function, you can tell it where it starts. So between smart string, I paste my code, and then I say look for it after S1 position, which we got it on previous line. Let's save the result in another integer variable, dim s2 as integer equal and the rest of the line. So s1 is the beginning of my string and s2 is the end of that. So I substring my previous text, str equal str dot substring between parentheses s1 and s2. Now str variable is limited only to that part. By Ctrl S, I save my project. Let's check it by clicking on this button. As you see, only that part is loaded. Very good. But as you see here, it has some style, like this button. How to add that? By this pointer, let's select this button. As you see, it gets its style from this file. Now I need to see in which part of this page this file is loaded. So I search for its name. I click on Ctrl F and I type the name of this file, style.css. Okay, as you see, the link is loaded here. So I copy this and I add it to the beginning of my previous string. str equal and that link. So between a smart string, I paste that and then I add previous string. Let's save it by clicking here. And now let's check it. I click. Okay, now you see the result has some styles. You can give it other styles like bringing that in the middle of the page and any style that you like. Let's stop the application. Here is the final code. Thank you for watching this tutorial. If you have any question or any suggestion, leave me your comments. And do not forget to subscribe in my channel. Goodbye.